What was the most obvious hint that a girl gave you and you completely missed it? Happened the other day. In Starbucks. I order coffee. Girl behind me whispers to me to ask for extra flavor because they don't put enough in. I interpret it as just a nice gesture. While waiting for said coffee, when it came out, she comments how they didn't fill it up completely. We have a brief conversation about it, and then her coffee comes out. Her next comment is, "Oh, now I have to find somewhere to sit," and I say good luck and head back to work. It hits me about 10 seconds later. The good thing is that you might see her again in that Starbucks. If you do, don't let us down, brother. I feel like there should be some hashtag response for this. Dunno. I must have missed it. I was in a girl's bed one time and she asked me why I hadn't made any moves, and she said to me, "You're in my bed," which could mean anything, so I decided to hang tight and wait for a clearer sign. I have a similar one. Been on 2 dates with a girl, and for date 3 invited her over to my house. On the sofa watching a movie with a glass of wine. 20 minutes in, and she just turns to me and says, "Are you going to F me or not?" Rude not to at that stage, but I was also waiting for a clearer sign, lol. This was in high school like 12 years ago. I had prom coming up and there was a girl I had a crush on, but never did anything about it as I was leaving the country after the end of the year, so didn't see the point. So in my art class it was just the 2 of us. She sat next to me and was asking me what my plans are for prom and if I'm going with anyone. My dumbass just replied, "No WBU." Years later, for some reason I thought of that moment and I messaged her and asked her if I was reading too much into it. She responded with, "It took you 3 years. If a girl isn't straightforward as F with me, I just don't pick up on it at all." This hint culture is so dumb. She should have just said it. "Do you wanna go with me to prom?" But no, you're the idiot because you're supposed to play detective. Took me on a Valentine's Day date. My oblivious thought it was just a friendly birthday dinner. My birthday is a couple days before Valentine's Day with a platonic female acquaintance. I feel your pain. Invited me to hang in her dorm while she showered and got ready for a party. My dorm was down the hall and figured it'd make more sense to wait there. She ended up staying in while I went to the party anyway. Took me several years to realize what happened, lol. Bruh, you may never recover. /view 200D. I've been fine, and it's probably more memorable this way, lol. Girl climbed into bed with me. I never slept so close to the edge of my bed before. To be fair, when you're married that doesn't change. So when we first met, she was a server at a place I frequent. I'm usually pretty nice and end up in conversations wherever I go. So when it happened here, I didn't really think too much of it. According to her, she dropped at least 20 hints that I missed over a 2-month period. If a server was dropping hints, I'd never pick up on them. "Server, you are very nice and attractive. We get along very well, and I would very much like to go on a date with you. You are the exact type of guy I want to date. I literally get work off in 10 minutes. Let's go get coffee next door in 10 minutes. My friend at the table, wow, that waitress is really into you." Me, no. They work for tips, so basically, their job is to be nice. Only losers read too much into that. Think I've answered this before, but here goes. Sat next to this pretty brunette in one class in college. We get to know each other reasonably well. One day, we get on the subject of swimming. She invites me to go swimming with her, but we needed to go to her room so I could tell her which bikini looked best on her first. My stupid just says, "No, just pick one and meet me at the pool." There was a long pause, and she made up some excuse about why she actually couldn't go. It took me 3 years before I mentioned that incident to a female friend, who then explained to me what an idiot I was. I read your story in another thread and to be honest it hurts just the same reading it again and seeing how you missed that. A few girls. Lol, so did you know I had a big crush on you? Gosh, I wanted to go to the dance, but no one's asked me yet. Since we go to the same gym, tell me when you're going so we could spot each other. And my personal favorite, God, I'm so horny I'd even let you have sex with me right now. My response was it'll pass. Edit. I had little interest in sex or dating because of anxiety issues. I sort of tricked myself into thinking I couldn't get laid or date so that I wouldn't even consider it an option, thus I was obtuse. That last one, why would anyone even say that? Quickest way to turn someone off. Yeah, I'm so horny that I'd let anyone, even you, F me. No thanks. Someone wrote a note, put it in an envelope, and slipped it into my bag. Didn't notice it till later in the day and found that it didn't have a signature. So while the hint itself was super obvious, the person that sent it remained a mystery. Could have been a friend playing a joke on you? That's happened to me before. I was walking out to the parking lot in high school with a hot girl. I have no game and have absolutely no intention of flirting. So being polite, I ask what she's doing tonight. Makes doe eyes at me, smiles and asks nothing yet. Why do you ask? Me. Gonna go to band practice with the guys. I will never recover. I don't like this thread anymore, guys. We are all apparently oblivious. Or were. And it's outrageous to me now as I'm starting to go on dates and hope and pray I don't miss something now. Lol. Once a girl followed me into the bathroom, waited for me to finish taking a leak, then opened the stall door. I sat there frozen and asked if she needed paper. She paused for a second, said yeah, then left. Imagine the kind of response a man would get if roles were reversed. Someone you presumably didn't know all that well followed you into the bathroom uninvited is creepy, but because it was a girl, that somehow makes it okay. She sucked me off, and I was doubting whether or not she was into me. Sounds like my marriage. Turns out, she wasn't. Ouch. Back in college, a girl and I were in a class together. She came over to my dorm room to work on a project together. I had a single room, so it didn't have much space, so we sat on the bed together. She moved really close to me, like a dumbass. I moved a little bit away, thinking she wanted more space. Years later, it finally became obvious she was flirting with me. She was attractive, funny, and intelligent, so I really fed up there. I will also add that I was a pretty withdrawn, reserved guy, so that didn't help me either. Edit. Got rid of an extra letter. I feel dirty. We should go take a shower /view 200D. In my defense, I was dangerously high and didn't wanna assume, lol. Really attractive blonde girl that I used to work with was always smiling at me, being super nice to me, hugging me for no apparent reason, etc. One day we are having a smoke on break. Do you wanna hang out after work? Me. Like at my place. There's nobody else there. I was just gonna go home and watch the game. So many cases in this thread where I picture girls go boohooing to their friends that he's not into me, and it turns out that we are just a bunch of oblivious dolts. There was a girl who was going to the same school as I, and I always took her to school with the car. Since it was a bit of a long drive, we always had long and good conversations, and we got along very well. And part of conversations obviously were stuff involving romantic stuff, and so one time the theme of the conversation was what I find attractive in women and what she finds attractive in men. I told her that one thing is that I always look for the hands if they are well looked after, and I also told her that I find it very attractive if a girl has nicely polished nails. Next time she drove with me, she had polished and good manicured nails. I mean, I think they were good manicured before, but she never had polish on them before, and she was also prominently displaying them. All I thought was nice nail polish. Took me long time to figure out it could have been a hint. I like to notice small details like that, so just know I'm sending a virtual smack upside the head for missing it, for what could have been. I take the award on this one. Was drinking with some work friends one night and had a little too much to drink. One of the girls I was with was like, you can just ride with me and stay at my place. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we get there and I start unloading my pockets on her coffee table and start to lay on the couch. She goes, you don't have to sleep out here. You can sleep in my bed. Again. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She takes a shower and then comes and gets in the bed. She tells me I don't have to sleep in my jeans. And I'm like, I don't mind. Then a bit later, as we are laying there, She says her feet are cold. And that's all I remember before I must have fallen asleep and woke up next morning. Like 10 years later, I remember randomly one day thinking, shit. Back in my youth I was out with a couple friends and 2 girls came over. One was really good looking and her friend was meh. She invited me back to her place and I said no because her friend was going to come and I wanted to hook up with her lol. I was so oblivious at the time till later when my friend was like, why did you turn down the 3-way? Climbing into bed with me /view 200D. For months. I didn't want to ruin our friendship, so I never made a move. Months she slept with me. Months. Jesus, how stupid. But I wouldn't change anything now though. But months. Common question here, because it's such a common and humorous, in retrospect, dramatic experience for us. My worst had spent the week we were working on a project together, always near me, laughing at my jokes, looking into me, followed me to the ferry stern, and stood right next to me alone under the stars on our way back from the island, and I just blocked the whole thing out as a possibility because she lived in another part of the state. Still amazed I could be that dense. Massage. She was wearing overalls and no shirt underneath. Hit me about a decade later. Was having a quick pint with a coworker when she asked me what I'm looking for in a woman and asked why I was single. She then went on to suggest how she was I had given. I was just all, oh, nice. Good luck and peaced out. Huh, you want to go next door and get some food? It's quiet over there. Me, oh. Trivia night is about to start. Her friend that I work with the next day, what the hell was that? Every time I see these posts I'm reminding that I have never missed a hint because I never got any in the first place. We in the same boat. We're lonely. In my university years I got to the library early and grabbed one of the comfy chairs with a nice view to study for an upcoming exam. Like half an hour later a girl my age comes and grabs the chair right next to me. After an hour or so she gets up and tells me she needs to leave for a few minutes and wonders if I can keep an eye on her stuff while she's gone. I said sure, no worries. She comes back, thanks me for watching her stuff. I say no problem. She proceeds to ask me what I'm studying, do I have an exam coming up, etc. I politely look at her and answer her questions, but I don't invite any discussion and don't ask her any questions. She returns to her studies. An hour or so later she gets up again and tells me that she's going to grab a cup of coffee and wonders if I'd like her to get me something. Now this is weird. This all took place in Sweden. We don't talk to strangers if we can avoid it, at least not while sober, and we certainly don't offer strangers favors they are perfectly capable of doing for themselves. We might offer an elderly person our place on the bus, or help a lonely mother with a stroller up the escalators. But we don't out of the blue offer to buy strangers coffee. I said thanks, but no thanks. Another hour or two goes by. She closes her book and packs up her things, and I notice her looking at me. I look back. She says that she's off to the cafeteria for some lunch, and wonders if I'd like to join her. This is even weirder. Swedes eat with their friends, alone or not at all. We do not ask a stranger to eat with us. I thank her for the offer, but inform her that I plan on going home for lunch in a little while, which was completely truthful. That had been my plan all along, as I was trying to be frugal. She leaves, and a short while later I pack up my things and go home. Basically the second I stepped inside my apartment it struck me like lightning that this girl had probably been hitting on me. I was sitting at a bar one night with a buddy, drinking and chatting. A cute blonde sits down next to me, orders a drink and some food. We talk a bit. Then she goes back to her book. Her food arrives. She slides my drink over. Said there is no way I can finish this. Help me. So I take a few bites while we talk. I'm trying to balance talking to her with my buddy, who is drooling over some lady down from us and keeps interrupting me to tell me about his band, which sucks. After a while she starts to pack up. Says I hate going home alone. I said yeah, I know that pain. She stares for a bit, leaves. My buddy starts talking about his band again, and while I'm thinking of cutting myself because they suck, and I no longer care about his band, it hits me. FML. What did I pass up? Woman gave me kiss me eyes and licked her lips. I gave her a hug goodbye. She was not happy when she texted me later. If you don't at least try to F me, I'm going to pull my hair out. I thought she needed a close place to sleep / avoid DUI after karaoke. I lived around corner. We were co-workers. We worked together, standing side by side. She had her hand wedged between my crotch and the counter. It took too long for me to figure put, and when I did I assumed it was an accident.